right, a very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us tonight on the broadcast. It is the first day we are seeing each other on this new month of March, where we have a lot in store for you tonight. But first, let's get the highlights.
This is Weekend Live with Anyango, Sylvia.
Apologies, we didn't have the intros, but that is our introduction this night. On the sign language interpretation is Lucy Kieri. Remember, this broadcast is also coming to you live on YouTube at KUTVNEWS Kenya, and you can also engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya at Anyango Sylvia KE. We begin. Now, Ramadan officially begins today, Sunday, as announced by Chief Qadhi Abdul Halim Hussein Athman after the crescent moon was not sighted in East Africa. Meanwhile, economic hardships and price fluctuations have impacted preparations, with food purchases declining compared to previous years. Chief Qadhi Abdullahi Hussein Athman has confirmed that the official month of Ramadan begins today, Sunday, following the inability to sight the crescent moon in East Africa on Friday.
Ombi letu ni Waislamu wafanye bidii zaidi katika ibada, wasiingie katika mabarabara, wafanye somo, wawe wapole, wasikize durus, wasome na Qur'an na watoe na sadaka kwa wale ambao watakuwa ni wahitaji.
However, a section of Muslim faithful began their fasting yesterday, Saturday, after the crescent moon was sighted in Saudi Arabia on Friday. Athman called on the Muslim community to observe fasting and prayer during this holy month and urged the security personnel to ensure safety during Ramadan.
Nafasi hii tunaomba idara zote za serikali ziweze kudumisha usalama zaidi. Kutakuwa watu wanafanya ibada za usiku, wanahitaji kufanya ibada, na biashara pia zitakuwa zinaendelea kwa usiku. Kwa hivyo kuwe na huduma za maji na huduma zote zinazowasaidia wananchi.
During a sports check on Ramadan preparations, it was a hive of activity at the famous Marikiti market, where most foodstuff purchases for the holy month usually take place. According to vendors, customers have been flocking to the market to stock foodstuff for their households, as is the norm during this season. However, this year things seem different, with lower purchases reported compared to previous years due to economic hardship and the fluctuation of commodity prices.
Sasa takriban ni saa 9 kasorobo. Miaka 10 iliyopita ama miaka iliyopita ilikuwa sasa tushafunga soko, tushauza na tushamaliza, na sheria kwamba soko lifungwe saa 9. Lakini kwa hali ya uchumi ya sasa ya Kenya, na nafikiri ni ulimwengu mzima, hali ni tumeamua kwamba soko tulifunge saa 12. Na ukiangalia wanunuzi sivyo vile walivyokuwa wakinunua wakati wa zamani. Watu wanalia maisha, watu wanayajipija. Utaona watu wanakuja wingi sokoni, lakini ununuaji ni mdogo sana, tofauti na miaka ya nyuma.
Mwezi wa Ramadhani vitu vimepanda sana. Kwa sana bidhaa muhimu kama kitunguu, tomato, viazi wamepandisha sana katika mwezi wa Ramadhani. Lakini tunashukuru Mungu anatufungulia, vitu vitakuwa sawa.
Tuna request yani kwa serikali kidogo vitu viwe punguzeni jamaa, vijana chipukizi, tuwe na mambo yetu, mandhari iwe kidogo sahali ama vipi?
Despite these economic challenges, KUTV wishes all our Muslim brothers and sisters a blessed and peaceful Ramadan Kareem and Saum Makbul. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV. Now, as that unfolds, worshippers at Christ Impact Church in Ruiru, Kiambu County, were stunned when a group of individuals invaded the building during the morning service, demanding an address from the church pastor, whom they accused of misbehavior. The ugly scene occurred after a week of tensions and wild accusations against man of God, who has been accused of abetting gayism and sodomizing men, including his fellow pastors. Adherents in the church had to flee to safety as the irate throng under the umbrella of TikTokers flung stones at the church, breaking church properties and even looting from the church. The agitated protesters, who were demanding accountability, also faulted the police, who came to ensure order for defending the pastor.
Wakati leo tumekuja, tumemkosa. Tumekuja tukapata washirika, tukaenda mahali pale kuingia ndani kuwaeleza what is going on. Then kidogo vijana juu ya kukasirika and everything. You know, TikTok I caught watu kama 30,000 people are currently watching us right now. So people wamekuja from all over, wakati wameona tuko hapa, wamekuja from nowhere na zile hasira nini ndio wakakuja. Na hiyo hasira wakakuja hapa ndio manini wakaenda.
Ndio maswali ambayo tuliuliza victim wa kwanza, akatuonyesha kwamba ndo hizi risiti zangu, ndo haya makaratasi ya hospitali na kufuatia zile surgeries ambazo amepitia. Ndio sasa sisi wenyewe tukaona kwamba kama imepita miaka miwili na hakuna polisi amefuatilia, hakuna mtu yote amefuatilia, basi itabidi sisi wote tutoke nje ili tuweze kushinikiza serikali iweze kushughulikia majambo haya, kwa sababu afadhali tusikie kitu kama hichi kimefanyika kwa klabu lakini sio kwa makanisa.
Now, family and friends of the late Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, formerly known as, rather famously known as JM Kariuki, joined for JM Kariuki's Golden Jubilee Memorial Service, as today marked a solemn milestone in Kenya's history, 50 years since the tragic assassination of JM Kariuki, who has been termed to have been one of the country's most courageous and vocal leaders. Here is our very own James Baraka with the details.
It's very strange because it happened on a Sunday.
As justice following the tragic murder of the late Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, famously known as JM Kariuki, remains unresolved, the family, friends of the late Kariuki and a section of political leaders alike have today commemorated at All Saints Cathedral for a golden 50 years memorial service since his mysterious assassination.
JM was just not nobody. JM was somebody.
JM was not demanding anything. JM was simply singing the national anthem to the powers that be, and was murdered for singing that national anthem.
Speaking during the memorial service, Jimmy Wanjigi, a famous businessman, honored the former Nyandarua North Member of Parliament JM Kariuki, saying that he was indeed a freedom fighter.
JM is a man who stuck his neck out when the colonialist was here. He fought for this uhuru we have today. He was a detainee. He was Mau Mau. He was a freedom fighter.
When I think about JM Kariuki and the Kenya of that time, you can imagine, for those of us who need to imagine, some of you can remember, but for some of us, we imagine an optimistic country in the 60s coming off the shackles of colonialism, you know, with expectations, great expectations that things will change, great expectations that there will be prosperity.
While expressing deep sorrow in remembrance of the late JM Kariuki's demise, Terry Wanjiru, one of his wives, highlighted that there has been confusion in what really happened as she called out for justice following her husband's murder.
Did you know today is second? Do you know today is when those evil people killed our husband? Did you look at these children? You have denied us, you people. You denied Doris, Esther, me, a husband who was very loving.
The pain is there. And the pain cries out for justice. Individual actors may be dead, but they acted with or without the consent of the Kenyan state, but they acted and were able to act and do the heinous crime because they occupied influential offices in the state.
One thing I want to correct, JM, they always say there was a bomb because JM was supposed to travel in that bus. It's not true. JM was not going to travel in that bus. It happened on Friday when JM said he was not feeling well. And I took him to a doctor called Elijah. And so that weekend, JM could not
With
travel
his name
anywhere.
still being synonymous with the fight for justice, equality and unwavering commitment to the common good, his assassination still remained to be shrouded in mystery, with many pointing fingers at powerful individuals within the government at the time, as calls for justice on this matter continues to fill the air. James Baraka for KUTV.
Now let's get a little bit of politics. Now President William Ruto has pledged to work with leaders to transform Nairobi into the true face of Kenya. His remarks come after tense 3-day standoff between Nairobi City County and Kenya Power over unpaid electricity bills amounting to up to 3 billion Kenyan shillings. Listen in.
Speaking during a church service in Roysambu, Nairobi, President William Ruto emphasized the need for unity among leaders to ensure Nairobi reaches its full potential. This follows a recent dispute where Kenya Power cut electricity supply to several Nairobi county offices due to outstanding bills.
Nairobi nilisema ndio capital city ya Kenya. Haiwezi kuwa mahali pachafu. We must give the true face of Kenya using Nairobi, and therefore we are going to work with the leaders of Nairobi, from the governor, the members of parliament, MCAs, together to make sure that Nairobi becomes the true face of the Republic of Kenya. Juzi walifanya makosa. Nikampigia huyu governor simu. Nikapigia wale wengine masimu. Nikamwambia sikizeni. Haya mambo mtakoma.
President Ruto assured the public that he has engaged leaders to prevent similar incidences, including the controversial dumping of waste at Kenya Power premises by county officials. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has since apologized, acknowledging the negative image this standoff painted of the government.
They did a big mistake. Mimi naomba msamaha kwa niaba yao. Mambo kama hayo haitarudia tena. Tulikaa pamoja na wale viongozi wa idara nyingine ya serikali, tukakutana na waziri, tukakutana na MD. Serikali haifai kubishana hivyo na kuweka takataka mbele ya wananchi. That one I am very sorry about. It is not how we operate. It is not how we behave as Nairobi County. Unajua kama tunakudai na unanidai, tunamaliza kwa meza, si ndio? Sio mbele ya wananchi.
The head of
Now, apologies for that technical issue that has just occurred. Now, moving on, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on the people of Ukambani region to band together with the people of Central Kenya in building a powerful alliance to host President William Ruto. The former DP has guaranteed Ukambani locals that they will form the next government alongside other like-minded Kenyans if they band together under the Gamabana. The Deputy President, the former Deputy President rather, further stated that citizens of Ukambani have been left behind in terms of progress and have every right to create the future administration. Gachagua has also continued to attack President William Ruto, claiming that he is desperate for support from Raila Odinga and will do whatever to ensure his survival under his armpits.
Sisi na nyinyi tunataka tukue Mount Kenya moja. Let us unite and we join other Kenyans as one group. Mimi nisiende peke yangu, Kalonzo asiende peke yake. Kwanza tufanye nini? Tuunganishe. Once tumeunganisha, tuko na marafiki wengi sana. Hapo Masaini iko sawa. Hapo Kisii iko sawa. Hapo Mlembe Nation iko sawa. Pale Pwani iko sawa. This election coming 2027, we and you shall win this election round 1. William Ruto naona unalalamika ati tumekuongelea masaa 4. Kwanza wewe masaa 4 umetoa wapi kuangalia vile sisi tulikuwa tunasoma? Why are you utafanya kazi saa ngapi? Kama wewe utashinda kwa video kuangalia vile tunasema. And if we are as useless as you are saying, why are you spending time listening to what we are saying?
Now, on that note, we are taking the very first break of the broadcast tonight. Stay with us.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. ukakamavu wake, ukati na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimweli.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
This is Weekend Live with Anyango, Sylvia.
Welcome back. Now, still in politics, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has called on the government to compensate families who have lost loved ones during the opposition and youth protests in 2023 and 2024 respectively. During a consultative meeting with the members with Mombasa ODM elected leaders, the former Prime Minister outlined a number of irreducible minimums. Odinga stated that the country is facing numerous challenges, with many people struggling to make ends meet. The former Prime Minister also stated that the cost of living has risen, commodity prices have skyrocketed, and there are issues in education, health and employment for youth and women. Odinga was also concerned about the rising state of debt, despite the fact that Kenyans are taxed.
Watu wengi wanapata shida, gharama ya maisha imepanda, bei ya bidhaa zimeziko juu, hali ya elimu vile vile kuna changamoto, kwa upande ya matibabu vile vile mnaona shida ziko pale, kwa upande wa ajira kwa vijana na kina mama vile vile kuna shida mingi zaidi. Saa yote yanataka yatatuliwe. Isipotatuliwa watu watazidi kuumia kwa muda mrefu zaidi. Hii si mzuri sasa kwa watoto wetu, mama wetu na wazee wetu. Sasa tunaangalia ni kitu gani inaweza kufanya ili maneno yatatuliwe. Hii ndio changamoto ambayo iko hapa. Watu kutekwa nyara, vijana wanashikwa hovyo, wanapelekwa vizuizini mahali ambayo julikani, wanateswa huko, wengine wanauawa. Hayo ni maneno ambayo hatutaki kuona katika taifa letu, mpaka yale yakome kabisa.
Now, a section of UDA veterans in Mombasa are protesting their exclusion from party activities in the aftermath of a broad-based government. The remarks come only a day after the head of state completed a week-long development trip to the coast region. The UDA supporters, led by Mombasa coordinator Samir Omar, praised and promised to assist the broad-based government, but they want the collaboration to focus on service delivery to citizens rather than the distribution of seats for leaders who recently joined the Kenya Kwanza administration. Omar also urged the president to keep his promise to buy land from absentee landlords and resettle squatters, a promise made during his week-long coast region tour.
Ikiwa leo masuala ya ardhi umetenga 1 billion na bado haijafanywa kazi, ina maana bado sisi viongozi wetu wamelala. Na ikiwa wao hawataweza kulifanyia kazi hao watu ulioungana nao wa Mombasa au pwani kwa jumla, basi sisi delegates wa mashinani tuko tayari kushirikiana na wewe kukuelezea matatizo ya masala ya ardhi yaliyoko ndani ya Mombasa, haswa kule Kisauni, hapa Mvita, kule Jomvu na Changamwe, ili uweze kututatulia haya masuala ya maardhi. Pili, tumeona umeshikana mkono na Raila Amolo Odinga. Tumefurahia muungano huo kwa sababu wewe ndio kiongozi wetu wa pati ya chama cha UDA, na ule muungano uliouleta wewe sisi hatutaupinga, tutaufurahia. Tunasema tuko tayari kufanya kazi na wenzetu, lakini tunasema huu muungano uwe ni muungano wa service delivery kwa mwananchi, sio muungano wa watu kushirikiana kuchagua wizara au kuchagua ma-PS au nafasi za kazi za wao kama viongozi walioungana na wewe.
Now, Busia County Government, in partnership with World Bicycle Relief and Living Goods, has distributed 324 buffalo bicycles to community health promoters, CHPs, at Kamuriai, Teso North Sub-County. The initiative, valued at 10 million Kenyan shillings, aimed to enhancing Social Health Authority SHA registration.
A total of 350 community health promoters from Teso North Sub-County have received free bicycles to enhance their mobility. Out of the 350 bicycles, 324 have been allocated to community health promoters and 26 to community health supervisors.
Wakati tunatembea na hao madaktari, ukimwambia ya kwamba na ukuje na begi lako la kazi, anashangaa atabebaje hilo begi katika nyumba karibu 10. Si hivyo madaktari? Na sasa kwa sababu hiyo na kupitia uongozo wa gavana wa kaunti ya Busia na naibu wake, wakawa wanatafuta marafiki ambao watasaidia kurahisisha uzito huo kutoka kwa CHP.
The initiative, valued at 10 million Kenyan shillings, is the result of collaborative efforts between the Busia County government and other stakeholders.
Tuseme jamii kwa jumla kukumbatia kazi ya CHP. Si ni ukweli? Lakini hapo kitambo kulikuwa na total resistance. Lakini saa hii ukivaa hivi unatambulika wewe ni daktari wa nyanyani.
Speaking at the event, Busia Deputy Governor Arthur Odera urged residents of Kamuria to ignore propaganda and be registered with the Social Health Authority SHA, citing its benefits. His statements were echoed by Catherine Gerori, the sub-county officer at the Ministry of Health, reiterated the county's commitment to strengthening community health systems.
Asa, because of the FIF, hiyo sheria tumeweka, sub-county hospitals and other facilities ambazo ziko, zitakuwa na madawa ya kutosha. So that when you need replenishment, unaenda una replenish, unafanya kazi yako kwa furaha. We want to make your work easy. We want to make you to be able to serve our people kwa njia ambayo inakufurahisha wewe na inafurahisha wale ambao unawahudumu.
As a department, Your Excellency and the Governor and Deputy Governor, I want to thank you because you've given us the opportunity to make plans, and we have this stipend regularized, Your Excellency. We have ensured that we are now up to date with a stipend for the CHPs in order to motivate them to work better.
Teso North was selected as the pilot location for the program due to its challenging terrain, with successful implementation expected to pave the way for similar initiatives in other counties. Akida Kasim, KUTV.
Now let's shift gears to news across our borders. A White House meeting Friday between US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky turned into an intense and heated exchange between the two leaders. White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara has this report.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us. Mr. President.
An extraordinary heated exchange in the Oval Office Friday between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump.
You don't have the cards right now. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Trump warned Zelensky to sign a deal that would allow the U.S. access to rare earth minerals in Ukraine in exchange for support in Ukraine's war against Russia's invasion.
But you're either going to make a deal or we're out.
In a statement on social media following the meeting, Trump indicated the proposed deal is off. He said Zelensky disrespected the Oval Office and, quote, is not ready for peace. The meeting, witnessed by dozens of American and Ukrainian reporters in the Oval Office, took a combative tone around 40 minutes in when Zelensky raised the issue of Russia's 2014 invasion of Crimea. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance immediately accused him of engaging in a, quote, propaganda tour.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
Zelensky left the White House Friday afternoon. A scheduled joint news conference was canceled. The proposed U.S.-Ukrainian deal called for the co-ownership and management of a post-war reconstruction fund for Ukraine, to which Ukraine would allocate 50% of future revenues from the country's natural resources. Trump has characterized the minerals deal as a type of backstop in lieu of security guarantees in which the U.S. would support European peacekeeping forces in Ukraine after its war with Russia ends.
I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait.
Trump has recently increased pressure on Ukraine to end the war, claiming that it was Kyiv that started the conflict. Russian troops invaded Ukraine in February 2022. He has pursued direct negotiations with Russia without the involvement of Kyiv or European allies, reversing U.S. policies under former President Joe Biden. In a social media post after leaving the White House Friday, Zelensky thanked Trump and Americans. He said, quote, Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News.
Now, in sports tonight, in the Kenya Premier League matches played today, Shabana FC sinked Kakamega Homeboys 4-1, moving them to 6th with 33 points, same as Kakamega Homeboys, who sit 7th. Tusker FC shared points with Mandari after securing a barren draw, and now sits 2nd with 41 points, same as Police FC, who are leading. Moranga Sale secured a 1-1 draw against Mathare United, putting them 15th in the table, with Mathare sitting 12th with 27 points. Now that marks the end of our broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for choosing KUTV and for staying with KUTV News at 9. This sign language interpreter tonight is Lucy Kerie and Anyango Sylvia. Have a good night.